Welcome to today's coaching. Can you hear me? All right, good to see you, good to be with you all. Here is the watch list that I'm gonna review, or that I like long, posting it, and here's the shorts, okay, for tomorrow. We'll go over it in a little bit here. Let's go over the market. Let's go over the open positions. Actually, I need to take the broadcast down for just a second. I'll be right back. My apologies, just 1 second, please. Okay, I just needed to reload the page, reopen the page. So, okay, so we'll take a look at the market first. We'll do what we always do in this room during the coaching. We go over the market, go over the calls that were made today, go over the open positions, go over tomorrow's watch list, answer any questions, and go from there. And by that time, I'm done for the day. Okay, so the market is continuing to be bullish. The IWM fell pretty hard today to the 20 on the daily, so it's still bullish, but just choppy. Here's the IWM, and here's the SPY. Qs is looking the best right now. The Qs is represents the tech stocks, the Nasdaq. Here's the IWM. Certainly was hoping for more follow through, but fell back into the range. It's been in a range for a long time, so it's trying to break out. Usually they don't break out. You don't get a successful breakout unless it's you get a new igniting bar, and in this case we already have been rallying for 2 weeks in a row, so I'm not surprised that we came in, but we're still bullish at the rising 20, still bullish. And then the SPY is similar to the Qs, but just not as tight of a trend right now. The Qs, I think, for tomorrow at least looks the best. Okay, so that looks the best, but overall the bias hasn't changed in months and months and months, which is bullish. What caused the big pullback? I don't know. Money rotation maybe. Out of the IWM and into the Qs, because the Qs was gapping down and ended up getting bought. Money rotation. The IWM has been stuck in a range for quite some time, but when it breaks out, I think it's gonna be good when it finally breaks out. But we'll see. In terms of the calls, so no change in the bias, in the market's bias. In terms of the calls that were made for today, we had a few things that triggered, but the majority didn't. ARK did not. I don't know that it's gonna go back up and clear, but if it does, I would like to add to the position. We already have a position in ARK. Would like to add to it. So ARK valid for tomorrow. Okay, valid for tomorrow. CTSH also didn't trigger, cancel for tomorrow, because it's too far from the entry. The entry is up here. So if it were to trigger tomorrow, and assuming a flat open, it'd be up, 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 up to the entry. I wouldn't want to do it. So CTSH, cancel for tomorrow. Disney already an open position, and looking to add to it, since I like the monthly so much on Disney, valid for tomorrow. So if you have an order for it, I am not canceling. So Disney valid for tomorrow. ENLC, just a heads up, this is probably a slow mover. If you have a buying power issue, I wouldn't do the ENLC. Okay? But if you don't have a buying power issue, then it looks lovely. Over the base, stop under it. This is an oil stock. So I like it. I like it. Still valid for tomorrow. The forward triggered and it came in. Looked good for a minute, but we'll see. I'm using the wide stop here. Basically, still, far from the stop. So we'll let it be. We'll let it play out. So this one triggered. Intel triggered at the end of the day by 2 cents. Looks good. I like it. I'm glad it triggered. So INTC is definitely up for sale. I mean, or you know, there's talks that it's gonna get bought. I don't know if it will or won't, but the chart pattern is okay, and I would like to be in it. So that's the INTC. We already have a position from earlier, from the buy. Was it from the buy setup? I think it was from the buy setup. And this is the W pattern. If you're not in it, it looks good still. It triggered only by a couple cents today on the INTC. Of course, the weekly chart is the difficult chart. That's tough. Monthly looks good, very extended. Hoping we wake up one day and INTC is up 10-20%. You know, buyout. I'm hoping. So INTC triggered, match. My favorite stock, my favorite I'm kidding. My favorite company, it's Match.com. It looks lovely on the monthly. Looks really nice on the monthly. But the daily is a bit choppy. I want to say, so I'm only looking to do it if it triggers. If. But since it's too far from the entry, probably better off to create an alert on this one. Match. So create an alert. And the entry for it is over 39, I think. So it's 38.77, but let's create the alert for if it takes out 38.80, 38.70, let's just say. So I think the match cancel for tomorrow. Okay. All right, not as much volume. It traded 2.5 million shares, 2.6 actually. That's plenty. If you're talking about this one, PayPal looks really good on the monthly, so valid for tomorrow. And the match, I'm not really like too sure about canceling it, but I created an alert, so if it were to pop, I would get a notification, and then at that point, I can decide whether I like it or not. So match, cancel for tomorrow. PayPal did not trigger. It's up a lot, but I got it on the buy setup, looking to add to it over the base. But it still looks lovely on the monthly. Looks really good. So valid for tomorrow. The PayPal valid for tomorrow. QTWO, we played this a couple times earlier this year, and it was magnificent. My only regret is I wasn't able to hang on to it. Looks amazing. Never took out a prior monthly bars low. I mean, wow. Looks really, really good. What if it just keeps going? What if it just keeps moving up? You know, gets to 100 something. Look at the Spotify. We played it. Where did we get out? At the 20 on the at the 200 on the weekly. This is where we got out. Where is it at now? It more than doubled. It almost tripled since we got out of it. This was a very nice trade from here to there. Okay, but should have gotten back in it. Look at the monthly. Amazing. So hoping QTWO ends up being the next Spotify. So this one triggered using a big stop, but let it be. Redfin did not trigger. Redfin probably not going to trigger, but let's go ahead and cancel the order. I already canceled it this morning, but let's go ahead and create an alert is what I was going to say on the Redfin. So Redfin, the entry should be over this bar's high, which is 1150. So I'll do 1140. If it takes out 1140, I want to be notified. Boom, done, add. So Redfin cancel for tomorrow. Tesla also cancel for tomorrow. But now Tesla, I have it as one of the permanent charts that I have, permanent symbols that I have open on my charts. But let's go ahead and create an alert for the Tesla as well, just in case. The entry for it really is over 224.25. So Tesla over 220. Let me take a look at the hourly chart, because I want to be notified early. So definitely want to be notified before it breaks above, that's the TSLL, before it breaks above 222, even though I probably won't get it until, well, that's 224. So let's say over this bar's high, 222.28. So Tesla 222.25. If it takes it out, I want to be notified. But cancel the Tesla for tomorrow. Okay, cancel the Tesla for tomorrow. ENPH as a short, it triggered. So, okay, that triggered. From the plays that didn't trigger, these are valid for tomorrow still. These are valid for tomorrow. In terms of the open positions, it's a very long list. I can post it in the description here so you don't have to type it. It's a very long list, but it should be up over 50 times your risk. On the weekend, I was up over 55 times my risk. So whatever you risked, if you risked 1,000 on average per play, which is what I do, that's 55,000. That's what the portfolio is up right now. Okay. With today, we'll see, but you know, that's what you should be up about. If you have all the positions, not everybody probably has every single position. Some of them, a lot of them are, you know, we've doubled up. Twilio, as you can see, you know, Ericsson is up from 621 and 638, so it's been nice. I changed the target on the Ericsson to, oh no, I didn't change the target. Let me see. Yeah, to 950 on the back half basically, because we trimmed half, so to 950. Ericsson, also another one of those curlers. Nice monthly, it curled plus the 1, 2, 3. Boom. That's when we got it basically. So I'm looking for the 200. Maybe it even gets up to 12, depending on the market environment for sure. So it looks great. Looks great. Could you cover the 1, 2, 3? Amber, if you're around, could you paste that, copy and paste that video that you posted this morning that covers the 1, 2, 3 setup? If possible. Okay, thank you. Do I ever run out of buying power? I do. I sometimes do, yes. It depends on how big of a position I have in, you know, in Tesla or Bitcoin, usually. Or how many earnings plays I'm doing. Right now, I'm not doing any earnings plays almost. Very small, 30,000 is all I have in the earnings plays, I think, today. 3 plays. But yeah, sometimes I do. If you can wait a little bit on the questions until later, that would be great. And then I can go over every symbol that you want. No problem. So Ericsson is nice. We'll let it be. Race is looking good. That's Ferrari. We played it on the weekly breakout. It came in, got a little bit choppy, but looks great. Long term. A lot of these are long-term plays. FIS is a bit of a home run here if you're in it still. That's a transition on the monthly also. The FIS, the trail on it is a little, I'm not entirely sure on the FIS. So I changed the target to 105, but I'm not sure whether to trail or not. I'm trailing half to under 89, 89.20 basically. So I may be making a mistake, but it's up a lot. Played it on the breakout, so it's looking good. Okay, on the FIS, I'm again trailing half to this bar's low on the FIS. The 3M is reporting tomorrow morning, and notice it started to come in a little bit, which I don't like, but the stock is entirely too bullish to be getting out of it, so I decided to hold. If you read my note today that I sent in the alert, I said to hold. Hopefully gaps up. Okay, on the 3M, looking great. eBay has been selling off a bit. This was played as a breakout on the daily chart. Not sure exactly what day. Took half already under the weekly bars low. I'm thinking maybe I should have taken the whole thing on the eBay. That's quite a reversal on the weekly. The daily didn't look so bearish, so that's why. But this is the third red bar in a row on the eBay. Now we're in it from 60. We took half already. So at 65, 69. But the back half is not looking too hot. So hoping it bounces so I can raise the stop on the eBay. But let's see. Feel free to trail it to today's low. Not 100% sure about it, about the trail. FIS is, we already reviewed it under 80, 88, 89.20. Zillow long-term play, in it from the buy setup, then added to it. When did we add? On one of these days. The add is still at break even. The initial entry from 56 or something like this is great. So like it as a long-term play. So like it even for tomorrow if you're not in it. It's a weekly buy setup. I like it even for tomorrow over that bar's high. Over here, 60, 65. Stop under 59. Like it a lot actually. ZM is looking lovely, isn't it? We did 2 plays on the ZM, the buy setup, and then when it broke out on the ad. So ZM, you look at the weekly, they don't come much prettier than this. I just hope it follows through. Just hope it follows through. ZM is one of my bigger positions because it's not a cheap stock, and I did the ad on it. So ZM and Twilio both are 2 of my bigger positions. So we'll see. Core Z is not cooperating very much. We played it on the base breakout or something like this, and then added to it. The ad is not working. It's down a little bit on the ad, on the Core Z. Actually, on the Core Z, the ad. Let me take a look. Yeah, the ad is down a little bit. Correct. The initial entry is up $2.50 or something. MU has been fantastic. We played it as a transition A, kept it through earnings, took half at 113. No, took half on the gap up, reloaded on the pullback, took half again when it got to 113, and we just have the back half now. So it's looking great on the MU. RKLB is the best. It's up actually 4.75 Rs. So it's almost up 5 Rs. Played it on the breakout. Stop right here. Nice breakout. Nice 1, 2, 3 also. And nice monthly. Looks amazing on the monthly. So I changed the target on it to about 16 or so up here. But we'll see. Looks amazing. RKLB. DAQ. This one could have trailed also. Right? In today's newsletter, I said alternate trail is this bar's low. But the reason why I'm not trailing it is because the monthly looks too pretty. I mean, it just looks way too pretty for me to trail it. But yeah, the DAQ is a beauty. So we'll see. Okay. Twilio, we have 2 positions in it. It's looking good. It's another one of those curlers on the monthly. Hoping they follow through. Sometimes they look good and they don't follow through, but this time I think it's different. Shop, we were in it. It looks good, yes, but we trailed it, which was a mistake over here. Shop is looking good, but a bit sloppy. A DEI, beautiful buy setup. I did not appreciate the pullback today, the big red bar, but what a beauty on the DEI. Another monthly chart that curled up, right? Started to transition. Buy setup was beautiful too. I didn't trail anything. The stop is under the SPARS low. We'll let it be on the DEI. Looks really nice from 1780. And Meta was looking great and came in. Somebody asked me today in the room if you don't need to tell me who you are if it was a good short, swing short. And what did I say? No, don't. Meta is ultimately in an uptrend, pulling back a little bit into support. I guess it got bought. See it? Not a good short. The Meta, we have the stop on it, still the original 460 or so, 461 I think. I'm sorry, 561 on the Meta. Something like this, 562. It's a little bit negative now because we played it on the breakout, so it's just down a tiny bit. Roku, we'll see if this can get going, but another one of those monthlies that looks really good. Hopefully at some point breaks out. Payo has been in it on the breakout, so it's nice, but it's getting a little bit extended on the Payo. So if you want to trail some, you just go bar by bar on the daily chart, or maybe under this bars though, on the Payo. I'm trying to hold a lot of these because 2 things. The market is bullish, and a lot of these look good on the longer term time frames, on the larger time frames, the monthly, the weekly. If you want to trail, there's this one. There's the DAQ also. There's eBay. Right? So those all can be trailed if you want. The ETHU, I would like to double up on this one. This is the ETHE, which is Ethereum, which has an amazing monthly buy setup. Amazing. So I'd like to double up, to tell you the truth, on the ETHU. I have 45.5, 45.6 Ethereum coins, and I have the ETHU, which is the leveraged ETHE. It's the futures ETF actually. So so I like it, or the tracking ETF for the futures contract for Ethereum times two. so so I like it still. Again, if there's a way to kind of add to the position, I would like to do it because I am fairly confident that this position is higher on the monthly. Am I confident that it's higher tomorrow, next week? No, not necessarily. But when all said and done, it should be higher. FTNT, played it on the breakout, looking lovely. It's a weekly breakout, monthly 1, 2, 3, looking great. Pulled in a little bit, but right back up. So I like it. The MU we talked about. We have two positions in it. Roku we talked about. Affirm is acting a little bit weird. Like it a lot. We're in it from the buy setup. Is that right? No, we're in it from this buy setup. So I like the Affirm a lot, but just got very sloppy. Probably should trail it to this bar's low, which is 42.50 on the Affirm. The entry was at 39.70, so it still is almost $3 in the money. So okay. So I like it, but it probably should trail half to at least that bar's low, the weekly bar's low. So let me update the trail on the Affirm to 42.50 on the Affirm. It would still be, again, right now it's $4 in the money. It'd still be about almost 3. So not too bad. But I'm hoping it doesn't trail because I really like the monthly. So Affirm 42.47. Trail half at least. And then the back half to the original stop, which is 35.69. Okay. The ARC we talked about briefly. It looks great. It's another monthly transition A, but it needs the IWM for it to pop. It needs the IWM. INTC we talked about. So looking good. Like it. The entry was at 22.93 on the INTC, so it's just break even. But we'll see. UIS, I raised the stop on it. This is a beautiful monthly chart, but I honestly don't think it's going to be able to take out that resistance area. So I updated the trail on it to 66, I think. So it didn't trail, but under 68, 2 cents below it, that's the trail. It will be in the money if it were to trail by 60 cents. Hood is a beautiful looking monthly chart. In fact, can add on the 1, 2, 3 on the hood. Can probably add to the hood over the highs, stop right here, but it's extended. So I'm not 100% sure about adding to the Robinhood. Beautiful. ILMN is doing a buy setup. Can probably add to it if you want, but I don't want to add to the IWM. This one is a margin hog. I mean, it uses up a good amount of buying power. It's expensive. Swim is more like sinking rather than swimming. It's not following through. Looked good on the monthly, but it's just slow. It's not going. On the swim, we have 2 positions in it too. So okay, ZM we talked about, Disney we talked about, WVE I'm already out. Okay, I got out at 14, but it still looks amazing if you have. I raised the stop on the back half to this bar's low, to under 14. That's my exit. That was my exit. Amazing play. Obviously we got lucky that it had some news and gapped up 75%. It actually went up 75% that day. So amazing play, obviously. But I'm out. SMCX, it's not going. This is the SMCI. It doesn't really look that good. SMCX. Not too sure. I played it because I like the SMCI on the monthly chart. I'm just gonna let it be. Okay. Stop is under the base, so we'll let it play out. GDS is a China stock, and notice how it's not going. It's not coming in. Staying really bullish compared to the China stocks. So looking good. The stop is under this bar's low. Nothing to do with it here. Fast is slow but looks bullish. I raised the stop to this bar's low, so we'll let it be. GSHD is a buy setup, I think. Not quite, but looks good. Played it on the breakout, so we'll let it be. Matter is also not moving, but it's a beautiful monthly chart. That's just a beautiful monthly chart. Really needs to take out $5, $4.99, I think, $4.99. Let me create an alert for it. I'm already in it, but we'll create an alert just in case it starts to move, because I may want to add to it. So I'm creating the alert here. Here it is at 4.90, which would be 3 cents above the daily highs, but not above the monthly. NCLH, like it higher still, but it started to pull back a little bit. NCLH, nice monthly, nice weekly, pulling back on the daily. Hopefully goes back up. We'll see on the NCLH. Zillow we talked about. ASM is silver, looking good, looking very good actually. The ASM broke out on Friday. And then I also have the AG, which is another silver stock. A lot of the silver and gold stocks have a 1, 2, 3 pattern. So, and they're transitioning on the monthly. This is silver, looks great. ASM looks really good. So we'll see. Core Z we talked about. ENB is the oil stock. It's not moving. Still break even, but we'll see. INSM came back in a little bit. I'm doing the weekly buy setup. I'm gonna let it play out. Okay? On the INSM. Tree is the monthly transition A. This is starting to go against us. It's not looking too good. The tree. Entry was at 62 and now it's all the way down to 56, but the stop is at 53. So it's just over half an hour. It's not that big of a loss, but it's starting to go against us for sure. I think the biggest loss from the open positions is the Pega, which is down about 3/4 of an hour. That broke out and then looks like it's failing. So that's the biggest losing open position that we have. The Clove is also down a little bit. Popped and then came back in. We'll let it play out. I raised the stop already to the SPARS low. Swim we talked about. Bill is, we'll see, it's a longer term play. It's a weekly transition A and a breakout. Some of these will report between now and the time before they get to target, and I'll update you every day. I check whatever is reporting from my open positions, and I update you on what to do. Lift is looking good. It looks very similar to the Disney on the monthly. That's the Lift. And then here's the Disney. Look alike. They both look alike. Pega we talked about. Breakout failure so far. That's down. If it stops, it stops. And then SVC was the short as a 1, 2, 3. It was pretty nice on Friday. It almost got to 1 hour already on Friday. Today it bounced a little bit. There's nothing I can do. We'll let it play out. The stop is over the SPARS high. It's over 392 on the, actually it's over 407. It's at 407 over the shelf. No, over this pivot right here. And then the entry on it was 374, so it's in the money. So looks good. So again, the plays are really, really nice. Thanks to the market being in a beautiful long-term uptrend, and the fact that the majority, almost all except for one, are long, all the positions. Okay, before we go over, let me know if there's any questions about the open trades, and before we go over tomorrow's watch list, let me know what questions I can answer for you. So somebody asked about the AAL. AAL is probably the worst airline of the bunch, I think. I'll take a look at it on multiple time frames. Yeah, this is hard. So look at this. Look at the monthly on this. In a downtrend at the declining 20, having rallied a lot already. On the, my bad, Mark, on the AAL. I meant from a chart point of view. I don't mind AAL otherwise. I fly with AAL too. So, so yeah, this one I don't like that much. If you want an airline that I like the most, probably is the LUV, but it's not quite ready. But trying to transition on the monthly, it's probably not going to work actually on the LUV. But yeah, the AAL, not all that great. AVGO, I'll take a look for you. AVGO is bullish, but AVGO is gonna look like the market, probably like the Qs. Bullish, but it's not going very far. But I don't like it here. I mean, it's just bullish, but there's no real good setup on it. On the AVGO. Nvidia, I think, broke out today, so it looks the best. From the big names, that looks really good. Nvidia. Looks really good. All-time high. And the mistake on the Nvidia was, remember I did a video and I said, how could you be bearish on the market when Nvidia looks like this? That was, Nvidia was doing a buy setup. I said, how can we be bearish on the market when the Nvidia looks like this? It's gonna go higher. I should have played it. Should have played it. Really, really nice. So I like it. Now, what's the target on it? Who knows? It's all-time high. But it could run for a few days. I can see it, you know, moving up for a few days. Amazon, I don't like that much. Ultimately bullish, but look at the angle of the 20 MA is pointing down. It needs to base for a while before I would play it, because the monthly looks good, but needs to base for a while probably before it's ready to move up on Amazon. And then Walmart, I'll take a look for you. Walmart has been basing, so looks higher over the base, but that's not what I would go after. You're not gonna make much money on something like Walmart, I don't think, unless you play it on a breakout or something like, or earnings or something like this. But yeah, it's low momentum on it at the moment, but bullish for sure. I'll take a look at Microsoft. Yeah, sure, Microsoft is been weaker than the rest of the Mag 7, I guess. Got a declining 20, so it also has a congested area above, so I wouldn't play it. Does it look lower or higher? I don't know. Probably higher, but look at the declining 20 above. Look at the resistance above. So I wouldn't play it. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna open a window. Be right back, okay? Sorry about that. Okay, let's take a look at the, so Microsoft we talked about. Coin is a 1, 2, 3, but it's up a lot. So, you know, the right place to get it is usually at or near the 20, especially when the 20 is starting to point up. Like, you see how it's curling? You see how it's starting to point up? This is where you want to get it, not up here. So that's the thing. We don't want to be novice people that are chasing prices because, oh my God, coin went from 160 to 220. Let's get it. No, it's too late already. So you want to be watching these to get in when the 20 starts to curl up. That's the right area to buy it. So up here, I don't think is a good idea, even though it still is bullish. MSTR is the leader when it comes to the crypto stocks. Super bullish. But would I also get it up here? No, I wouldn't. Look at the move. It already doubled the last month and a half or so. Already doubled. So I wouldn't do it. But it's very, very bullish. SMCI, I talked about it. It's too weak for some reason. It needs to take out the highs. If it does, then I like it. But it had the chance to do it over here and got sold. So I'm not holding my breath on this one to move up. It had the chance to do it and didn't go. So at the same time, can we manage out of it here? Because we're in it. I'm in it. Can we manage out? No, you'd be getting out in the middle of the base where it is neutral for the most part, where it could go either way. Might as well stick with the stop. So that's my view on the SMCI. Okay. Yeah, the SMCI monthly bar, I mean, I thought just for a pop, just to 60 or so, you know, I wasn't expecting it to go all the way back up, but just for a nice pop after this bar formed. So I thought it, you know, could pop a little bit at least, but it's not going so far. Let's see, Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin is very bullish. Here it is. I talked about it in this weekend's video. It's very, very bullish. It's just got a little bit extended on the daily. But, you know, hold on, let me just line up the chart real quick. So, Bitcoin chart, this is the weekly. I went over the weekly chart because it was the clearest also. Just gonna add more space at the top, so increase the margin at the top so you can guys see it. So if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's very pretty actually. Here's what it did basically. It's really pretty. It put in lower highs, okay, and lower lows. Lower low and lower low, 3 lower lows. And then all of a sudden it put in a higher low, and it was failing on this sell setup. So I said I am expecting this sell setup 2 weeks ago is what I said, is when I said that. I'm expecting this sell setup to fail, not to take us back down like all the other sell setups here did. See the sell setup, sell setup, sell setup. Why? Because I can see the higher low already. I saw the higher low right here. The first time a stock or any instrument makes a higher low after being down 3 bars, 3 lower highs, lower lows in a row, I confuse myself too. The first time a stock or any instrument puts in a higher low after 3 or more lower lows is the sign that it's going to take out the prior high. So I think it's not too late still, but it's late by like $8,000. But it's not too late. Looks amazing. Here's the monthly on the, here's the monthly on it. I mean, that's a buy setup. That looks good. Looks good. Now, what looks better than Bitcoin, I think, is Ethereum, but only on the smaller time frames. On the larger time frames, it looks better. So, it's Ethereum. That's not what I wanted to look at. ETHUSD. So, let's take a look at it. And where's Coinbase as an exchange? Wow. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. 1 second. Just gonna open up the chart, go to my watch list, go to Ethereum, and here it is. That's just so pretty. It's really, really pretty. Monthly buy setup. So I like it. The daily is so sloppy. It might as well come in. I mean, it could. Weekly at the declining 20. So it looks incredibly sloppy. But when all said and done, I think Ethereum is going to have a nice move up on the monthly chart. Maybe not right now, but you know, in the coming weeks and months, we'll see. So I like it a lot. Solana is pretty good. It broke out already on the daily. So here's the daily. Boom. Pretty good. So it looks good. Looks good. Crypto looks good. All right. I'll take a look at the PODD. PODD is very, very bullish, but flat 20. So I don't know how much momentum it still has, but really, really bullish. Notice what's at the bottom. 2 gaps. The gap down that was very bearish got bought. A very bearish gap getting bought is a bullish sign, and then a gap up over a pivot or over a sell setup or a breakdown. Boom. So that's what's at the bottom. And then it's really bullish, but I would wait a little bit before jumping in it. I wouldn't do it anyway, but I'm just saying if you really like it, I'd wait just a little bit for the 20 to start pointing up on the daily chart. ASML, not sure. I don't think the ASML can recover from this anytime soon. So I don't like it. I don't like it short either. It was already selling off and then it dropped hard. So probably the worst is over. But I don't think this is gonna recover anytime soon. So don't like it that much. The semis, the CLAC, they all got slammed, didn't they? Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. AMAT, yeah, they don't look good. I saw that. There are some exceptions, such as, of course, Nvidia. That's an exception. Goog is looking good on the larger time frame. Look at the monthly buy setup on Goog. So Goog, I tried to buy it at the bottom, but it gapped up. You see this? I actually had it as an idea in the newsletter that day, that it gapped over the entry and never filled. Why did I try to play it long there? In anticipation of the monthly buy setup. Right at the lows, into the 20, into all that support, but gapped over my entry. It's extremely rare to get a beautiful 3 red bar pullback on the monthly chart like this on a big name like Goog. Extremely rare. Unfortunately, I never got it. So Goog looks great longer term, but short term, neutral. Neutral to slightly bullish. BA, talked about it in the other room today. I don't like the BA at all. I was the one that tried it a million times, not really, but a lot of times here when it was breaking out. Liked it. Was trying to do a monthly buy setup. Multiple times I was up over 10K on it. Never worked. Always gave it back. And sometimes I lost after being up a lot. So now that it's in a downtrend, now that it has a bad monthly, a bad weekly, very bad weekly chart, I wouldn't play it at all. I wouldn't play it. Otherwise, normally I like the name brands, the big names that have dropped so hard to buy them and hold them long term, like I did with Tesla a couple of years ago. So I like to do that, but on the Boeing it doesn't look good. CCJ is incredible. I mean, it's just incredible. Yeah, CCJ to the moon. I was trying to do the buy setup on some of these uranium stocks, I think. FCX, CCJ. FCX is not uranium, but CCJ is FCX at all? Has uranium, I think. They also do mine uranium. And then the other one was SCCO, is that right? SCCO. Oh, copper, not uranium. Copper. My bad. Copper. But I wasn't able to figure out a way in it. It looks amazing, but it's too far gone. If you're in it, looks lovely. I would keep it. This pattern is never gonna fail. I mean, this is never gonna fail. We played the RCL, got out at 120, I think, on the RCL monthly bicep. See it? Got out at like 128 maybe, and I thought we did good. It's the same kind of bicep as you see on the CCJ or CJJ. See it? Look at the two wide range bars. Where's it at now? I got out at 120 something. It's at 200. So here's the CCJ. Similar pattern. Boom. Now I wouldn't be getting in it up here. I wouldn't be getting in it up here. But it looks amazing. If I was in it, I wouldn't let it go. Uber's interesting as a daily long. It is. It's a buy setup. Big stop. So right here. Stop right here. Target up here. So low R to R. Low reward to risk. Plus the Uber by selling off really hard. That's not good. It is at support. So, but I'm not gonna Uber's on my backup watch list. Here's my backup watch list for tomorrow. It's on my backup watch list. So it's okay, but I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's amazing. UPST looks amazing on the monthly, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing to do with it up here. Look at the monthly. It's interesting. Those fail all the time when you get, if it tries to go higher and then gets slammed. The second time it tries to go higher fails most of the time usually. But it's really, really pretty. Really pretty. But I'm watching it. It's on my watch list in my spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet with a few hundred names that I look at every day after the close. But not here, not now. So we'll keep an eye on it. The uranium. When I was talking about the CJJ or CCJ. That's copper. That's what I meant to say. Uranium is the UUUU, the whatever, the URA, the URNM, the DNN. That's uranium. Very, very bullish also. Very bullish. So let's take a look at the UUUU. Okay, bullish, but is there anything, it's already gone. Here, beautiful. Up here, no. Oh, CCJ is also uranium. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So anyways, too far gone for now, but very bullish. But I just wouldn't enter up here. Over here, again, if you wanna take anything at all from this whole week, and you just get this one concept, which is the right entry is almost always at or near the rising 20 when you're playing long, at or near the declining 20 when you're playing short. If you just remember this one thing and nothing else, then it was well worth your time. I assure you. I assure you that. So always ask yourself, where am I getting into the play? Is it at or near the 20, or is it too far away from it? Now, the 1, 2, 3 pattern is okay to play far away from the 20, like this one. Far from the 20, but that's because it was a breakout. So you can't penalize a really bullish stock. So you can do the 1, 2, 3 even if it is away from the 20, but not anything else. I mean, pretty much nothing else. If it's far from the 20, it's too late. Any stocks in the scanner that give 5x on option swing with a 1.5, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't look at options. Psychology question. NNE issued stock, say you missed it all. Do you watch this one, or do you just watch the other hundreds of stocks with better setups? Wow, I didn't know it broke out. I knew this was looking good on the weekly, like it was basing. I thought it was basing, but I knew this was looking good. But yes, if you're not in it, totally missed it. Totally. Yeah. There was a beautiful buy setup on the daily. That's it. That's it. If you bought it there, golden. And anywhere else it was pretty hard because it was choppy, up and down, up and down, up and down. But yeah, now it's way too late. I wouldn't look at it at all, honestly. Oh, it's down. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying it's down in the post market because it's doing a secondary offering to 24.69. So okay, with secondaries, I gotcha. With secondaries, usually the stock doesn't go anywhere, so it flatlines and just goes sideways most often. So you're better off looking at something else. Sometimes they get bought, so they have a tendency to get bought. If so, you can look to play the breakout. But most of the time, when I try to play the secondary offerings, I lose money. I don't make money. I lose money. The only exception is when sometimes a stock does the secondary and it ends up gapping 50, 60, 70%. Those I look aggressively to play long. When it ends up gapping a lot. If it's gapping just a little bit, those I basically avoid. Did you guys see the way that I traded in the room today? Did you guys see? It was all difficult stuff. But how patient did I have to be? And I'm trying to impress you. You're new to the room, but you had to be patient. And sure enough, I got rewarded for it with the HOWL, the 1, 2, 3, 4. But how many plays did we look at, consider, and then ended up passing on? How many? Dozens and dozens, literally. There were a couple of other scalps that I did here and there. Okay, fine, but legitimate chart patterns, I didn't take. Except in the morning, I don't know what I did, but in the afternoon or since the open, I didn't do anything until the HOWL. So you don't have to be this patient, but sometimes that amount of patience, that level of patience is required to make money. So somebody said, patience pays. In the room, somebody said, it's true. But guess what? Without it, you're almost guaranteed to lose money. It's tough being patient when you see stocks moving and you want to make money. It's a lot of fun to be, getting into plays and making money, but sometimes you really have to be patient. Okay, short on the BA, I don't see it as a short. It might come back in, but I don't see a setup on it. Do you short extreme extension? I do, but very carefully so. We talked about the UPST. Do you want to see where our entry was? But that was a couple of years ago. Truly, that was the entry. I don't need to add more data, I don't think. At $400. Got out at 250 and I thought I did well on the UPST. It went to 10. This is it. Climactic short under the SPARS low. So that was the play actually. Short, stop. This was the target. I canceled it and I said to hold because it looked good. Out on the gap down. 250-ish. I thought I did well. It went to 10. So yeah, if the stock is going totally climactic, or the ANF we also did. ANF was going totally climo. Right? Did it twice. So on the double top, and then I don't remember the initial entry. So this was the entry on the double top, and then there was another entry up here, over here. But this one I gave most of it back, I think. It didn't drop that much. And then this one, why? Because the stock was going parabolic. That's parabolic. And this one parabolic, not as bad as the other one. Here it is. But again, for every climactic short that I do, I take probably 20 or 30 or 40 swing longs. So the money is not in those parabolic moves, because they're very rare to find something that's really parabolic. I'm not talking about something that looks a little bit lower, like the docu, or something that's just rolling over a little bit. I'm talking about a real parabolic move. I like to do these, but it's very rare. Okay, all right. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with the questions here. Amazon, I literally talked about it 4 or 5 times today. Neutral to slightly bullish for now on the Amazon. I think it bases. If it can base for a week or two, then yes, like it higher. But it's not all that compelling to play the Amazon long. It's a market stock. How can you show? Yeah, on the Howell 15-minute. Here it is, almost picture perfect, almost. The pop, couple of doji bars, and then long over. It's 278, but I played it over 280. Stop under 270. Target was $3. It got to 305, and then somebody said good job, and that's exactly when it topped out. When you get excited about a play, that's usually, when people get excited about it, then it's very close to the top usually. Vert, I'll take a look. And then we need to go over the daily watches. Vert is very, very bullish, but there's nothing to do. I don't know that there's anything to do with it. Very bullish, I wouldn't short it, but I wouldn't play it long, being that it's up a lot and far from the 20. So there's nothing to do. Election in 3 weeks, yes, I am aware of that. I don't know. Just look, here's the thing about me. I don't see any benefit in analyzing events I have no control over. All I can analyze objectively with conviction is the chart. If the chart looks good, I play it. If it doesn't look good, I don't do it. I keep it simple. I don't think, well, if Trump wins, then I should do this. If Harris wins, then I should. If Harris is looking like she's gonna win, I should do that. I don't do that. I don't play that kind of game. I try to just stay objective and analyze price action, and that's it. Sometimes I'll analyze the psychology also. DJT, I told the room that I think the DJT, when Trump almost got assassinated, the stock understandably gapped up a lot, but then sold hard. Why? This is, Trump almost got assassinated but survived and had one of those, moments where he said, fight, whatever. So Biden's chances at that point in time were near zero. So, okay, then why did the stock sell off after that? So, you know what, my understanding of it was, now that Biden is definitely going to lose, they're going to replace him. That's what I told the room. They're probably going to replace him. That's what's going on. That's why the stock is selling off. And sure enough, got replaced. Right at the bottom, I said, I think this is the bottom actually. And somebody from YouTube emailed me and said, how did you guess? Because it was a Monday. And you can look it up. It was a Monday. I mean, this was a Friday, I think. So I talked about it on the weekend. And somebody from YouTube reached out. How did you guess? Well, it accelerated, the volume picked up, and it printed a nice reversal bar. It wasn't a for sure thing, but ended up being the bottom. Amazing move. So sometimes I do try to analyze the psychology, but I never try to, predict based on external events. Predict what the stock is going to do based on elections or based on the war in Ukraine, Russia, or Gaza or whatever. I don't do that. I don't play that kind of game, because then I lose my objectivity. It's not that I'm, I know nothing about the world and I'm so naive that I can't analyze out external events. I can, right? But I don't, I lose my objectivity. So I try to stay true to the chart. Stay true to price action. And guess what? In return, I get rewarded for it. In return, I don't have a headache. I don't get a headache by trying to analyze a million different things. I'm just literally trying to analyze candlesticks with a couple of moving averages. That's it. So it's much, much easier to make money that way. I'm yet to see somebody show me their P&L, their income and loss statement or whatever, that actually trades the news. How come they don't show you? I don't know. You tell me. CELH, take a look. It's too weak. I get asked about this stock all the time. I don't know why. All the time. And all the time I say it's too weak, too bearish, don't do it. You can see what it did on the weekly. It was very bullish and completely failed. You can see what it did on the monthly. Completely failed. So the fact that it's down to 32 doesn't mean much, really. It could be down, it could drop to 10, to 15, whatever that bar's low is, to 13, all the way down to here. I've seen this happen a million times. So it doesn't mean much. That's what I used to think when I first started trading is, oh, the stock is down from 100 to 32. I drink this energy, drink. All my friends drink it all the time. It can't go on any lower, could it? And sure enough, I would buy it at 30, it would drop to 10. So yeah, I don't see it as a good play. It looks weak. I don't know. Of course, it did have something bullish there. So, you could watch it to see if it might hold and start to turn the corner, or if it breaks down, then I would let it go. But you could watch it at the moment, but I've gotten asked so many times about it as a long, and every time I said no because it looks horrible. Now it's a little bit better. We got the spike in volume, the gap is kind of holding up, the 20 is starting to curl up, so it is a little bit. Look at this, objectively speaking. Was it good long at any point in time here? No, it wasn't. Look at the 20 MA. This is your best friend telling you it's lower. This is your best friend. Now maybe it curls and starts to breaks out, but I still wouldn't play it. But maybe as opposed to every time it's an absolute no. Don't play it long when it's under the 20 and the 20 is 45 degree, coming from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. Bottom right, correct. Don't play it. Don't play any stock. The only exception is if it accelerates, goes climactic, then you could. Or if it starts, if the stock pops and bases and the 20 flattens out and starts to point up, then you could look to play the breakout. I do this all the time. So this pattern is lovely, very rare. This pattern is very prevalent, which is the transition A. Okay. All right. I like to do it mostly after the monthly, but on the daily is okay too. The AMPX was sort of like that today. It already transitioned, but then a breakout today. And then if you look at the weekly, it was in the newsletters an idea, I think. Yeah, it was. I see it. I didn't do it. It was just an additional idea. Why didn't I do it? Because it already moved up quite a bit recently. So, that's the reason. Okay, let's take a look at the daily watch list. China, I think, got a little bit too far ahead of itself. So, it went parabolic. That's not sustainable. If China was, just nice uptrend like this, or just, like the ZETA, let's just say ZETA, beautiful uptrend, it's coming to an end, or it ended already. Something like this, sustainable. Something like the Ericsson, sustainable, no problem. But China went vertical. So, that's not sustainable. And then to make things worse, it didn't just top out, it gapped down 30%. So now everybody that bought it these days that was jumping up and down thinking, oh my God, I'm up so much, it's going to the moon. Now every single person that bought it and held it is underwater. So if it tries to go higher, when it tries to go higher, it fails because they're getting out of it. So am I sensing, I talked about it in the room today, am I sensing a little bit of bullishness right now? Yes, it might be moving up. I noticed also at the end of the day, the BABA popped a little bit. A lot of the China stocks popped a little bit. So could we be potentially bottoming right now? Yes. Is it easy to say so? It's not. It's very hard to tell whether we bottomed or we're still lower. So I am not really sure at all about the China stocks. There's a couple that that I like. The GDS, I'm in it. That looks different. The QFIN, that's really bullish, and then the TAL, that's really today popped, has a monthly buy setup, monthly or weekly, monthly. Let's take a look at the weekly as well. Let's take a look at the EDU. That's another education stock. That's too deep of a pullback, but let's take a look at the But you see this daily chart. This is a pattern that I figured out on my own from taking so many stops over time, which is, let's say you're playing something, it tries to go higher and then fails, and then the bar that takes out the pivot that failed, so here it is, tried to go higher and then gap down and failed. If that bar's high gets taken out the next day, then it's a long. So on the EDU, it's actually a long tomorrow if it takes out this bar's high. I'll give you an example, a better example, because it's not gappy. The lift. Here's the buy setup, right? Here it is. Buy setup, tried to go higher, and then failed. Broke under. And then the bar that broke the pivot, that bar's high got taken out the very next day. If that happens, it's always a re-entry, 100% of the time. Disney, probably the same thing, but I don't know if the Disney did it or not. I don't see it on the Disney. But you see what I mean? I was in it. I did the buy setup and it failed. And then the next day, that bar that took out the stop, that bar's high got taken out by the next bar. So that's a re-entry 100% of the time. Okay, so the EDU is gappy because it's a China stock. Trades with the China market overseas. Guys, 1 second please. 1 second. They heard they heard the plays are on fire, so they came to put out the fire. I'm kidding. It's just I live on a somewhat busy major street, and so when I open the windows to my office, sometimes that's what happens. All right. So anyways, the EDU, the TAL, those look okay. Let's take a look at the GATU, which is the third. That doesn't look as good. This is the other education stock. Yeah, that doesn't look as good. But the TL and the GATU from the China stocks look okay. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the watches for tomorrow. Super bullish, but it's way up there. APLT. Super bullish. Looks higher, but it also is not. It's not a very clean pattern. But yeah, wow. I mean, talk about bullish. How did it bottom? Let's take a look. It was a gap and a transition A on the monthly. So yeah, super bullish. Bizan is another okay, I have a few China stocks on the list here for those that are interested. Bizan. Wow, where are they? LI. They should be watched actually separately. LX is a China stock also. And is the EDU not on the list? Here it is. I skipped it by mistake. EDU and XPEV. So those at the moment probably are the nicest looking China stocks. In addition to the ones that I mentioned, but for tomorrow, those probably look the best. So watch them as a group. So the Bizan never works for me when I play it. I don't know why, but it literally never works. Long, stop on the Bizan. LI, it's gonna be the same pattern. Transition, but it's too big of a stop on the LI. The LI stop should go right here instead of up here, I think, and that would make it too big of a stop. Over here I wouldn't do it, I think it's too tight. And then the LX looks lovely on the daily and the intraday. EDU, I told you why I'm watching the EDU for that pattern. And then XPEV is also trying to turn the corner. The Bizan looks the best, but that's the one that I can never make money on for some reason when I play it swing. So okay, PayPal looks good. We talked about it. It looks good. Looks great. I have a call on it. So, that's all you need to know. I like it. Those are my thoughts. So I like it a lot as a long-term play on the PayPal. Again, some of these will be reporting earnings, and I will probably hold through earnings, just like we did with the EDU, with the Ericsson. Right? So we'll see. Disney we talked about, is there's a call on it for tomorrow. ETHU, I put it on, there's a position in it, but I put it on the list for tomorrow because I really would like to add to it. Maybe too soon to add, given the fact that the daily is very sloppy on Ethereum. We talked about it, it's very sloppy on the daily, so maybe too soon to add, probably. Hive is a Bitcoin stock, has a 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if it has enough reward to risk, probably doesn't. But here's the entry. Here's the stop. Yeah, it probably doesn't have enough R to R. That's the target on the Hive. So that's the issue. The HL is silver or gold, or both. It's a 1, 2, 3. The silver and gold stocks all have kind of a 1, 2, 3 setup. If you want to play long over that bar's high, stop under. So 756 by 723. The only thing I don't like about the 1, 2, 3 setup is that you can easily take a stop. They can easily stop out. But this is nice. This is not bad at all. The Hive has, has limitation because it doesn't have as much reward to risk. HOOD also can potentially add to it over on the 1, 2, 3. Okay. If you want to add to it, it looks really bullish, but it's a little bit extended. But it looks incredibly bullish. Over this is a China stock also, HSAI. So add that to the China list. They're not very good. Favorite would be the Bison, maybe the EDU, second favorite. So HOOD we talked about. HYLN, very bullish but very sloppy. Look at the monthly chart on the HYLN. That's bullish, trying to transition, but a bit sloppy on the day. So we'll let it go. INTC only if you didn't get it today. Then I like it tomorrow over 28.88. Stop under the SPARS low, which is 21.74. Only if you didn't get it. The IOVA is too sloppy, but look at the monthly on the IOVA. And the daily is good except for the top and tail, but look at the monthly. Good spot for it to bounce back up. So I put it on the watches just as a watch, not because I have an order ready to play. So just to watch. The iron is a Bitcoin stock. So it's extended. The stop on it should really be here. That's too big of a stop. So the alternate stop would be right here on the iron. If you took the wolf, which was as an idea only, amazing. Same kind of thing. It's extended. But if you put the stop here, boom, nice play. So the same with the IREN. Same kind of pattern, not as strong as the wolf, but looks nice. ISRG is a 1, 2, 3. It looks good. Again, the biggest issue with the 1, 2, 3 is that you can easily take a stop. Why? Because it's a very small stop. It pops, triggers you in. The next day it takes out that little bar's low. And the stock would still be bullish. So normally the type of plays that I like to do are the ones where if the stock takes out the stop, it means it's no longer bullish. So, and imagine a stock that's been bullish for this long, finally turning bearish. It's very unlikely. Trends tend to continue. So it's very unlikely. So that's where I like to place my stop. At a place where if the stock gets to, then the whole nature of the stock changes from bullish to bearish. Having said that, that's a really pretty 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't put the stop under yesterday's low, but I would give it, so under today's low. I wouldn't put it under today's low. I would give it a little bit more room, and instead of today's low is what? Is 514.50. I would give it to at least 512. So it goes on the favorites for tomorrow, okay? MDB is a daily buy setup. It's a little bit deep. The pullback is a little bit deep, but nice daily and nice spot on the weekly. The 20 is pointing up. I'm not saying the weekly looks amazing, but good location. So I actually had an order for it today when I came across it while we were going over the gaps list, or somebody asked me about it. I don't remember, but I put an order for it above the highs. It didn't trigger, so I may do it tomorrow. I may call it in the newsletter. We'll see. Netflix is a 1, 2, 3 also, similar to the ISRG. I wouldn't put the stop here. I wouldn't do it here. I would give it to here, and then I think it's okay on the Netflix. Okay, so very similar to the ISRG. The pins looks higher while the Snapchat looks lower. Pins is a buy setup on the daily, and the monthly I think also is okay on the pins. So long over this bar's high, which is 33.38, stop under 32.60. Target the 236. Nice monthly, bad weekly. Nice monthly, nice daily, bad weekly. Sell setup. So I'm gonna probably pass on it. There's no reason to push it. We already have 40-50 positions. Literally 50, but a lot of them are doubled up, so it's not exactly 50 symbols, but 50 symbols, 50 trades otherwise. The PayPal over the base, stop under it, looking good. I have it already from the buy setup, but just looking to add to it. So PayPal on the favorites. QURE, this one I got from Lars this week. I think I actually had it on my daily watch list too. Looks nice. It did come in first, and now it's looking even more bullish, but the problem with it is the R to R, the reward to risk. Long right here, stop right here, and target here. Maybe it has enough R to R, but that requires a bit of luck to get to $9. That would be like really lucky for us to get it up there. Maybe more likely over here. In which case, then yeah, definitely not enough reward to risk. Otherwise, pretty setup. Long. Starbucks trying to move up, looks okay. Don't like it that much. They gapped up and never filled any part of the gap, so it stayed very bullish. SSRM is a gold stock that never follows through for me, but it looks nice. It's a daily 1, 2, 3, monthly climactic. I tried to play it, wouldn't go. Monthly beautiful climactic buy setup, and weekly is a transition A breakout, and the daily is a 1, 2, 3. So I don't know whether to do it or not, because it just doesn't work for me. Long right here. I wouldn't put the stop over here. I would just give it to here. Maybe to here, basically. And long right here, target $8. So it does have enough R to R. Where's the target coming from? The monthly 20 MA. Monthly 20 MA is probably at 9 right now, 950. But I think it has, by the time it catches up to price, it'll be at 8. Tesla is no good. I don't know why it's on the list. Just wanted to create an alert, I guess. And those are the China stocks which I already went over. So SSRM, I don't think so, but I'll decide once I plug in the numbers, the entry, the stop, the target, and then I look at the R to R. The shorts, ADM 1, 2, 3, short, bearish 1, 2, 3 in this case, is okay. I like it when the 1, 2, 3 is actually a base on the hourly chart. In this case, it's not quite a base, but it's a double bottom. So the failure of a bullish double bottom is bearish. Short, stop on the ADM, and then target, not a lot, to here. So it's okay. It's okay on the ADM, putting it on the favorites for now. The BG is also 1, 2, 3 after a really bearish gap. Notice that the stock was, every time it broke out, that's a breakout failure, but people don't recognize it. Tries to go and then comes back in. Tries to go and then comes back in. Those are breakout failures. And then gaps down. Of course it gaps down. Most of the time the news goes along the line of least resistance, as Jesse Livermore put it 100 years ago. So this looks lower, but I would wait another day probably for the 20 on the hourly to catch up before playing it as a short. The MOH maybe doesn't need, we don't need to wait, but it's at support. So this one base, this is what I like. If I'm doing a 1, 2, 3, I like the daily to be a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and the hourly to be a base. But look at the support, so can't do it. And then Snapchat has a breakout failure, probably too soon to play it, but also has a sell setup on the weekly. So Snapchat is looking lower. I wonder when this reports, if it was reporting today or tomorrow, I'd play it short. That looks really good as a short into earnings. But I think it's too soon to short it as a swing trade. Too soon, but it looks lower. The path is trying to bottom, but it's a bit too weak. I'm aware of it. It's trying to bottom. As you can see, it's trying to turn the corner on the weekly chart and the monthly. Monthly is pretty weak. And then it's just too weak. On the gap up here, got sold. Why did it get sold? If it hadn't gotten sold, if it held up, then maybe yes, as a long. But to me, it's too weak. I'm aware of it, but I wouldn't play it. Okay, the HUT, I'll take a look. Very, very bullish. It's too far gone. There's no setup on it at the moment. It's too far gone. That's a Bitcoin stock. I play straddle strategies. I don't do options, so no. Any last minute questions? We're kind of done for the day. Now what I do is, again, I take these plays, the favorites, I plug them into the table, put in the entry, the stop, the target, and figure out which ones have the best reward to risk and which ones look the best. And then those will end up be the official calls for tomorrow. Anything else will be just an idea, an additional idea. AMD, I don't know. It's like a deep pullback, but it's a bit of a buy setup. The weekly is trying to hold. Not sure on the AMD. Needs to hold for it to be bullish, but it's too difficult. It's under the 20 on the AMD. But it's trying to, trying to move back up. So can give it a shot over the red bar. Stop right here. Is this the best I've ever seen? It's not. It's definitely not. I like it when the entry is, when the pattern forms above the 20 and the 20 is pointing up like this one right here, but even that wasn't that great, but this is below and the 20 is flat. So that's the issue with the AMD. It's a bit weak. AM, I'll take a look. Isn't this, what do you call it, oil? Yeah, it's too sloppy. Tried to go higher right here, failed. It's way too sloppy, no momentum in it. I wouldn't play it. It's at support, the top of the base is support. You're gonna see it better probably on the weekly. Yeah, it's at support, but the breakout is failing. The buy setup over here on the daily failed. No momentum on it. The 20 is pointing down. Wouldn't play it. Wouldn't play it. All right, let's call it a day. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Be there at 9 a.m. Thank you so much and have a nice evening. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.